Kia ora, welcome to Busters. Today we're going to fill some knot holes with epoxy. You may notice my bus is parked in a different spot. On the upside, it's now on the concrete, which means getting underneath it will be a little bit easier. On the downside, somehow I've killed the batteries, so it's stuck here until I get some new batteries. So well before I filled my first knot hole with resin, did a fair bit of research on what to use, and hands down, West Systems. The 105 resin is pretty stock standard, that's what everyone's using. I've gone for the 206 hardener, which is for summer, for warmer weather, which we have right now. It takes a little longer to set. That's I'm after a little bit of extra time to do my thing. It comes with these awesome pumps, which makes the 4-to-1 mix super easy. One pump of this, one pump of this. Cannot go wrong. So that's what I'm going with, West System epoxy, and we're going to fill all of our holes with it. This here is the definition of a knot hole. It's actually got a knot in it. I need to get it out. You can see it's loose. Sooner or later it's going to shrink or somehow move and be a problem. In fact, this one goes right through, which will make filling it kind of fun, but it has to be done. So I'm removing all of the bark around the knot so that it's nice and clean. I'm actually just using a screwdriver. There probably is a more appropriate tool, but I've found the screwdriver to be very effective. So once we're happy that the hole is pretty clean, there's nothing loose left in there, we can vacuum that out and we're ready to start filling it. West System makes mixing epoxy very easy. One squirt of this, of the resin, one squirt of the hardener, and stir. Couldn't get much easier than that. I've bought some gold flake to put in it. Give that a stir. It's actually really easy to add. You just simply pour it in the hole. Now as that starts to set, it'll sink, and then I'll simply top it up with some more. And now we wait. We wait for this stuff to dry. That's the first load done. You can see my gold flake in there. So that's ready. Some of that will sink into the deeper holes and need refilling. Some of it is now finished. What you can see in some of these are air bubbles. They're actually really easy to get rid of. I'll show you. Over the next half an hour or so, as this sets, bubbles will rise to the surface. Now they're really easy to get rid of with a simple little gas torch. And all you need to do is just get a little bit of flame just licking the top. Be careful not to burn it. and that will instantly, I think it's actually the carbon dioxide in the flame, instantly pops all those bubbles. You can see them just disappear. Piece of cake. Some parts sink much worse than others. This one has literally disappeared into what was a tiny hole. This one here has sunken right down into, again, what didn't appear to be a big hole, but obviously was quite a deep crack. This, as expected, has sunken a long way, but that was a big deep hole. And others bubble just in one particular spot. This one here has bubbles coming up here. Nowhere else. The rest of it is bubble free. Just that one spot right in the center there has got bubbles. Likewise, this one here, only bubbles right there. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched epoxy dry. I have. Kind of boring, so let's speed it up a bit through the magic of television, and you can see this one here slowly sinking into the hole. That happened over several hours. Look at that. So I've topped up these holes today. You can still see the gold in it. It's got an extra layer on top now, still a little soft. Along with the rest of the holes down here. So they are all now, should be above the top of the table. And once they harden, they'll be ready to plane off. These two are actually going to be cut off, so they're not important. This epoxy is now fully set. You can actually see the top layer, the edge around here where I filled it. So now I'm going to start planing it off. Best practice would probably be to build a little dam around the actual knot hole. That would use less epoxy. You could maybe do it out of silicone or something like that. I've seen it done. It would also make cleanup a little easier, but my tests have shown it doesn't really soak into the wood that far. I have still a bit of material to take off here yet, so I think it'll clean up fine. So I'm going to start that now. It's been 24 hours, it's got quite hard. I'm just going to plane the top off to prepare it for sanding. I'm going to use my planer, which is pretty much this sharp edge here, not all that sharp anymore, and it just spins around to quickly take the edge off. This wood is sanded with 240 grit sandpaper, and although that's fine for the wood, it's too rough for the epoxy. So I'm going to go over now with some 400, then 800, and then maybe up to 1200 to get it glassy. thanks for watching. After a 1200 grit wet sand, this is how it turned out. Kind of glass-like. Hopefully you'll want to see how the rest of the bench top turned out. If you do, that's quite easy. Just press the subscribe or the like and all of those buttons, and follow us through finishing this Macrocarpa Slab bench top. Take care, see you soon. Mā te rā.